After those 3 minutes, the Break of Dusk phase will start and continue until you kill one of the 2 bosses. Suen won't be using Fan of Flames and Tears of Sun. Lu Lin won't be using Moon Lotus, Beast of Nightmares, but Ice Comets will stay around. On top of this, Lu Lin will start using Tidal Force, which sends out a wave of water in different directions. These will smack the shit out of anyone who's hit by them. The boss will be immune to damage while casting this, and she will deflect spells used against her. It goes without saying that these waves need to be dodged, but they move pretty quickly, so that's unlikely. The tanks will continue tanking Suen near the Ice Comets. One tank will need to pick up each boss. We recommend killing Suen instead of Lu Lin, just because having Lu Lin left to kill in the next phase seems to be easier. The next phase is the Final Darkness or Final Daylight phase. If you off Suen as recommended, you will enter Final Darkness. All of Lu Lin's abilities from First Darkness will be used, including Tidal Force, but you will no longer have to deal with the Fire Bitch casting any abilities. If you kill Lu Lin first, you'll have to go into Final Daylight. The reason this option is more difficult is because Lu Lin will no longer be using her Ice Comets. Other than that, she just uses the same abilities. Now, we felt like it was necessary to go through the entire encounter before mentioning that you won't be doing this totally alone. Near the edges of the room, there are 4 celestial buffs that can be used. You can use each buff once before the Break of Dusk phase and once after. The first buff is the Rush of Cranes, which causes cranes to run through the room dealing damage. The next one is Fortitude of the Ox, which increases health of raid members by 50% for 15 seconds. The third one is Tiger's Celerity, which causes most of the boss's abilities to be slowed down. And Serpent's Vitality is the fourth one, which restores everyone's mana and health. Now, to activate these buffs, one needs to walk up to one of them and click them. By doing so, we'll phase the player into the room by themselves. This is when a letter or symbol will appear above your head. You will need to use your character to recreate the symbol on the floor of the room. There will be several dots that you can use, and you'll need to walk to the glowing one to start drawing. Now, when it comes to deciding when to use the buffs, there are a few things we recommend. I would use the Fortitude of the Ox and Tiger's Celerity during the Break of Dusk phase, just because there's 2 bosses and the waves that are sent out move quickly. You will also want to utilize the cranes to drop Suen quickly, so use the cranes in the Daylight phase and the Break of Dusk phase. Also use Serpent's Vitality buff in the Daylight phase, so that healers are topped off for the Break of Dawn phase. So things to remember: tanks. During the first phase, one tank will need to be on the boss, the other on the Beast of Nightmare. During the second phase, you'll need to switch at 2 to 3 stacks of Fan of Flames. You will also need to be tanking Suen close to the comets that spawn. During phase 3, one tank should be on each boss. Healers, just be ready for the Break of Dusk phase. There's a lot of damage being done there. And anytime you're fighting Suen, there won't always be a comet, so the damage will start to get pretty intense if you go for a little bit without a comet spawning. DPS just need to focus the boss. During the Break of Dusk phase, focus whichever boss your raid leader instructs you to. Everyone needs to remember to stay spread out throughout the fight. Everyone's going to need to dodge the Ice Comets and the waves. Don't stand in any fire, and don't forget about the Celestial buffs. You should probably lust during the Break of Dusk phase as well. That's all you need to know to avoid any broken friendships. Good luck, Adventurer.